they're only getting it because they're fucking so-and-so. Oh, that's only because they're sexy. Oh, that's only because they're Asian. Oh, that's only because they're a sexy Asian. Oh, that's only because they're fucking sexy Asian. Whatever it is. Like, and eventually they disappear. They always disappear. But there just weren't enough watermelons out there for both of them. And a beaver with a giant picture of a Bible. Not the AI version. That shit sucks. Your face smells. You charge me on stage, I'm going to fucking whack you in the fucking mouth.
Folks, welcome back to Jet Entertainment tonight. Today we have a very special guest. He's been on Comedy Central. This is not happening. He has a Comedy Central half-hour special. He has a special on Peacock. He also has King Scorpio special on YouTube. He's been everywhere. He's done everything. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Patton.
Man,
Thank you.
That was good.
I appreciate it. I've been working on it.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I did do those things. Oh yeah, thanks.
I appreciate you coming on for real.
No, I always listen. Podcasting is a rare thing. You don't see many of them these days, right? And it's a dying art form, and I just really want to I want to. It's like I want to help bring it back. It's like you're playing it's like you're a violinist,
right?
You're a classical musician.
Right.
You don't see that much, and I want to just be a part of helping keep the spirit of it alive because it's cyclical. I say this to every podcaster out there. I'll say this, every fan of podcasting, just hang in there. It'll come back around.
We're in the dark days.
People will start listening again for 6 to 8 hours a day. And, coming up to you after shows and asking highly personal questions about your friends. They'll start happening again. And I'm saying, I'm here to support that. What the fuck? That was a water burp.
Water burp.
You ever just get so hydrated, man? So fucking hydrated. You're tipsy, bro. I do need to hydrate, though. How about you?
Oh, man. So you're not starting your own podcast or anything anytime soon?
I've had my own podcasts, plural. I really enjoy doing podcasts.
Yeah.
That's why I said yes. That's why I really do enjoy being a guest on podcasts. Having your own podcast, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm not a good host. And I also just there's a lot of if you didn't pick up that I was being sarcastic earlier, maybe you should listen to more podcasts.
There's quite a few.
I bet there's a few that discuss sarcasm specifically. Was that being sarcastic or was that being facetious?
What's the difference? True.
I think sarcasm is done with the intent is the difference. Like the intent of sarcasm
Humor.
is to be sort of like fuck you back, whereas facetiousness is sort of also being like fuck you, man. You see, I'm not 100%.
Maybe
sure.
one's based in humor and one's based in trickery.
Tomfoolery,
treachery,
treachery, bro. Wait, Jet.
Yes, sir.
What is that short for?
Joseph Edward Tatum.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Your name's an acronym.
Yep.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Jet Entertainment Tonight, Joseph Edward Tatum.
I like that, dude. I like that. I was hoping you were going to be like Jethro or Jetricia or some hardcore Appalachian name.
Everyone likes Jebediah. They always want it to be Jebediah.
Yeah. They always want it to be Jebediah.
Always. People are like, is it Jebediah? I'm like, no.
That's their go-to. You're like, where did I get the tea from? Yeah, man, but I like doing podcasts. I like being a guest. It's fun.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I love it. For two reasons, I get to talk to guys like you,
Sure.
comics that I look up to, and I don't have to upload horrible clips of my stand-up. I can just upload clips from this.
That's actually genius. Pretty great, man. That's actually, because I know it's the clip culture now.
Yeah.
I don't
have a problem burning out these
Yeah, this
clips.
is great. Yeah.
I have zero problem burning out these clips.
You should burn these clips.
Yeah. That's
These
what
clips,
they're for.
This is to be burnt.
I almost encourage people just watch the clips. Don't listen to the full episode.
Watch the clips like kindling for a fire in your imagination. Yeah, I mean, it's all we were talking about this before we started recording, but like people always talk about excuse me, gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And because they'll say, what the internet is now, what YouTube is, and social media, like there's no more gatekeepers. I'm like, yeah, there is. It's called the algorithm.
Yeah.
And it's the worst gatekeeper there ever has been. You can't see them. You can't talk to them. They're not human.
Yeah.
They can't be rationed with. They're not like, they don't judge anything based on like actual merit or even ability.
Right.
It's all about like, it's all what gets the most views. And it's like, that's why certain things we have to do I find fucking insane. Like, there's a prime example. When you subtitle shit, you can't, you have to like edit it. You have to, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to censor subtitles.
Right.
Or the algorithm will shoot it down. And you're like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Like, that's like, we're adults. And you're like, well, the kids, then don't give them a device. or accept the fact that the world is going to get to your kid. It's going to get to them. Don't hide it from them. Don't try and hide them from the world. Show them to it. Let them see a swear word.
And teach them.
Let them read fuck and shit and cunt and piss. Let them read those things. Or what are the George Carlin? Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits.
Yeah.
Those are the 7 words?
7.
George Carlin, R.I.P. Not the AI version. That shit sucks. But
did you watch it?
I won't.
I haven't.
I won't allow myself to give like any energy or time to it because I disagree. It's one of those things that I disagree with, and I don't need my mind changed.
Yeah.
Or not that I'll have my mind changed. I don't need to experience it to understand it. It's taking a dead guy's legacy.
Yeah.
And letting AI, that's the beginning.
And they titled it "I'm Glad I'm Dead."
I mean, that's the only.
That's so irreverent.
That's just so fucking. Ugh.
If you're gonna do that, which I disagree with in the first
wholeheartedly,
place, but if you're gonna do that, don't make it irreverent to the person that you're making it of. You know.
Exactly.
It's so crazy.
And like, it's just, I don't know. It's just
at least pay homage to the person.
Yeah, it's just dog shit. It's just it's like. You start letting that happen, it'll happen to every single one of us.
AI scares me, dude. We watched Ex Machina last night. Have you seen that? That was the first time I've watched it.
Yeah.
That shit scares me, dude. AI scares the shit out of me.
I mean, like, it'll and if you think it can replace a comedian, but it can't replace everyone else, that's the other problem.
Yeah.
There's because I've talked to people out there who are like, it's harmless. Come on, it's pretty cool, right? And you're like, don't let it take your fucking livelihood away. How about that?
Yeah,
because it will. It can. Like that's if there's no. Let it start fucking checking people out.
Yeah.
At grocery stores, we already kind of have that with self checkout, but like,
very close.
Let it start. You start doing AI specials of dead comedians. What's next is I think this one's actually going to happen, and I will actively be shitting on it when it does. But cover comedians.
Oh. Yeah.
I think that's going to start happening.
I can't believe it's not already happening.
I think, it might be happening. We just don't know.
Have you seen
or tribute comedians?
I forget. Oh yeah, tribute comedians.
That kind of shit.
Here's a Bill Cosby bit.
Well, yeah, dude. I'm telling you. Like,
have you seen they have comedy karaoke now?
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm being dead serious. That you go up there and they have a teleprompter that you do someone's bit.
Oh man, I'm gonna do that in the camera. Fuck. I mean, that's just it's coming.
And where I saw it was Nate Bargatze's Instagram. He posted a video of him with the person that runs the place, and then he was doing a Jerry Seinfeld bit.
Oh, buddy.
And then it didn't work, and he was showing that it didn't work, and then they showed the Jerry Seinfeld clip at the end, and they were saying it's to teach people. It's not just what you say; it's how you say, and all this stuff. Which fine, whatever.
To teach who? Why?
Why?
It's like there's no. You don't need. Man, I actively and wholeheartedly and fully and in every way you can. I do not agree. I'll say this to any young comic: don't take fucking comedy classes. Don't do any of that shit. Just sign up for a fucking open mic and start.
Yeah.
You will learn everything you need to know in that first time.
I love meeting people at comedy shows, and they're like, oh, yeah, I started doing open mics, but they just don't work for me.
Dude.
Okay, well, what do you do then?
Yeah.
How are you... How do you know that this is going to work when you get up there?
I mean, I can say this. I read, before I ever started, I read 2 books on stand-up. One of them was called, the Step-by-Step Guide to Stand-Up Comedy, and one was I forgot the second one. They're both I got them online, and I was like, I'm going to start. And I can say this. I neither one. Like the only thing I took away from those books was take the mic out of the stand and move the stand out of the way. Don't just leave it there.
Yeah.
But I would have figured that out the first time I did stand up.
Right.
But I read both of these books, and at the end of both of them, I was like, I don't. That doesn't like. It was like one of them had a joke writing formula, and I remember trying the formula and just it didn't work for me.
Do you remember the formula?
No, it was like no, but it's in that book, The Step-by-Step Guide to Stand-Up Comedy.
Buy it.
Yeah, it's like a joke writing formula in there, and I remember like using it and being like, it doesn't work. It just doesn't yield anything. And back then, not knowing any better, being like, fuck, maybe I suck at this, but fuck, I'm still gonna try it. And then like a week later, did the open mic for the first time. And when I did the mic, I remember getting off like that night, driving home, being like, holy shit, like that wasn't in the book. Nothing I experienced was in that book.
Yeah,
like you couldn't. Neither book could capture what it's like just going on stage. The little things. Yeah. And you learn everything. You've like, oh, I know. It's this weird moment of like, I know everything and also still have so much to learn. Like, because you get it, but you still realize, oh, this is going to take a while to get good at. But that was part of the excitement for me. It was like, ooh, all right.
Where'd you do your first open mic at?
It was a place called Amberjack's in New Orleans in the Lakeview neighborhood. It no longer exists. It didn't survive Katrina, I don't think. But it was this like seafood restaurant bar.
Of course.
And yeah, exactly. And then like the restaurant, I believe, closed early, like at like 6 p.m. And the bar stayed open to whenever. And it was like, I remember I went to a mic the week before just to watch, just to like see the lay of the land. I remember that week it was pretty full in the audience. It was like, had to be 20, 25, 30 people. Small room. But it was pretty full, and I remember it was like maybe 7 comics.
Dang.
Yeah, 'cause, dude, back then, I mean, it was 2001, a long time ago.
Back when you were ashamed to tell people you were doing comedy?
Back before I even told anyone. No one knew. People knew I wanted to do it. My friends knew, but like I didn't let my parents see me for till like 4 years.
Dang.
I'd been doing it for like 4, and I actively kept them away. I was like, no. And then finally it came to a show, and it was good. But I remember the first night I saw the open mic, it was pretty full and lively and fun. So I showed up the next week expecting that. And instead it was like 4 people in the audience. And it was like, oh shit, this sucks. But I just kept going. Started, I remember like little things like hearing your voice amplified. Oh yeah. Wasn't expecting that. It was like, whoa, that's how I sound. Seeing how people looked under stage light. Where you're like, oh, it's just different. Like hearing, like getting that first laugh. Because I think I got a laugh like immediately with a riff, and then my first bit died. And then I remember being like, well, that's how it goes. And then I remember my last bit got like a good reaction. And it was like my first time. And I was up first. That was the other thing. It was like one of those open mics where it was like, all right, you're going to go first. And I was like, sure. And now looking back, I'm like, that guy was a fucking sadist. Throwing me into the chipper. But I got it. I'll thank him for it.
Yeah. How long did you spend in New Orleans before you moved out?
I was doing it in New Orleans for about 4.5 years.
Okay.
And back then, it's a different time. Like, there was no YouTube. The internet existed, but it was not what it is now.
Yeah.
Social media, there was one social media site. It's called Friendster.
Yep.
That was it. And it wasn't like social media. It was more social than it was media.
Right.
There weren't clips.
Yeah.
You weren't downloading clips. You were writing testimonials about your friends. That was the whole thing about Friendster. It was like you couldn't write shit on your own page. Other people did. Like, he's my best friend. Sean's a good guy. Sean's a fart fucker. A fart fucker. I've been called a fart fucker. All right. Don't know what that means. But yeah, it was just a different world, and the comedy scene was much smaller. But we like thought we were doing something. Yeah. There was maybe only back then 15 comics in New Orleans.
Dang.
You had one weekly open mic, and then like a smattering of like monthly open mics, and then a couple monthly shows. There were no like weekly shows, like good. So like if you were good back then, you got up maybe 7 times a month.
Dang.
But back then we thought that was enough.
Yeah.
1.3 times a week or whatever. You're like, all right, but it would also. Yeah, I know it's crazy to think of.
That is crazy. 7 times a month.
Yeah, like it was, and half of them or 5 of those times was open mics.
And then you went from New Orleans to New York, or
I went New Orleans to LA first for a year. I liked LA, But the whole time, like, I wanted to go to New York first. I always wanted to go to New York.
Yeah.
But I thought I had to go to L.A. Didn't really know any better. So I was like, fuck it, let's just bite the bullet and go. I went to L.A. And while there, I met all these, like, ex-New York comics. They were just telling me all these, like, some of them are still my friends, you know. Some of them still doing comedy, obviously. But some of them are still my friends. But all this, you know, telling me all about New York, telling me about it. Like, man, fuck, that's what I wish I was there.
Yeah.
And then Christmas, I went home for Christmas. And then last minute, a guy I knew who lived in New York was like, hey, I have to leave for a few months. Do you want to sublet my room? It's really cheap. And I looked at it as like a cosmic sign. I was like, fuck it. Sold my car, moved to New York. So I was in LA for like a year, then almost immediately to New York. But I mean, I like that first year in LA was fun. It's where I met like Kinane, who's still one of my buddies. One of my favorite people and favorite comedians.
Yeah.
Met him there during that year. Met like Jeselnik and guys like that. And then so by the time it's almost like I'm glad I went to LA, because that was where I saw like, fuck, man, that was where you're doing an open mic at night.
Yeah. And
you're seeing like the true shit of it all.
Yeah.
And the good stuff.
Yeah.
But so by the time I got to New York, that year in LA had completely prepared me.
Right.
So when I got to New York, I hit the fucking ground running.
Because in New York, it's go, go, go.
And I knew that. I was like, all right, if I've been through that LA sort of slog where everyone's kind of nice because they're also kind of being a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Everyone's nice to your face in LA and the dick behind your back.
Yeah.
So other way around in New York. Everyone's a fucking asshole up front, but when you walk away, they're like, hey, he's a good guy. So like, he took it, But
was it harder to get stage time in LA or New York?
LA. In New York, the stage time's everywhere. That's why it's the Mecca.
Yeah.
It's just there's so fucking much of it.
Yeah.
And I know it's probably like, it was difficult. It wasn't easy back then, but there were just options.
Yeah.
So like, if you couldn't get on at this mic, there are 3 more mics in the neighborhood, on the same block. And I know it's difficult. I know like people are just now moving to New York. I don't even know what that landscape looks like anymore. I'm sure it's a fucking shit show. But like when I moved there, it was still like, it was a slog. You know what I mean? It was like you showed up. There was that one website, I can't remember what it was called, Chunky Monkey or Chuckle Monkey, that listed all the open mics. And you'd show up, and I was doing shit. That was when it was like, oh, I could do 3 of these a night. Cool, I'm doing 3 of these a night.
Hell yeah.
Or more sometimes, or less sometimes. And then at the mics, you start meeting other comics, and then they're like, hey, come do I have a weekly show at this bar. And then you go do the bar shows, and then you do the lower level of bar shows, and then you level up through that, and then next thing you know, you're fucking doing your podcast.
Yeah.
You're on Jet,
You've made it, dude.
Yeah, it's like,
you've made it. Who needs a Joe Rogan experience?
What even is that? I don't even know what that is, man. What, you talking about Fear Factor?
I don't even watch UFC, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, right? What does that even stand for? Fucking cunts. And then a bunch of UFC guys show up and kick the shit out of me at my next show. Man, I wish that would be, if I were now, that would be that's an interesting life, I imagine, being a professional fighter.
I couldn't imagine that.
Just,
I think it would be cool, though, to like know that you could pretty much beat up anyone in a room.
Yeah. But also, I bet it's probably annoying because everyone in the room is thinking that.
Yeah.
And there's a few guys in the room who are like half a beer away. Yeah, from just being like, fuck it.
I wonder how many times they get challenged by drunk dudes at bars. And they're like,
I imagine more than you think.
You really think you could choke me out, dude? You think
or it's like, or it's not as direct. I bet it's more like oh yeah, man. I bet you're good at a rear naked chokehold, huh? Yeah, I bet people don't get out of those much, right? And you're like, all right, so you want me to put you in one so you can show me how to get out of one? And then you end up choking out some fucking dad. You know what I mean?
Just on the bar floor.
You're like, I can't leave. If I let him go, he's going to take a swing. Oh, man. Or like the guys who are like, yeah, man, I did some fighting back in the day. I was undefeated. And then you're like, all right, I see where this is going. Yeah.
Oh, man. I almost brought a bottle of Cumin for you.
Oh, yeah,
Cumin,
buddy.
as you said.
Yeah, dude, that's good stuff.
I love that bit.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I love that. That was This Is Not Happening, right?
It's not happening. Comedy Central's biggest fuck up.
Did the guy really get that mad over you saying Cumin?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Well, I think I said it in the other bit. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I found out later it's because he had his family cat name was Cumin. And he died, and he was all sad. It was truly, he had not processed the death of a pet. So when I was saying Cumin, and his cat's name was Cumin, and he took it. You know, he's just like, "You're making fun of my dead friend." And he never told me that up front. He just fucking screamed at me all the time.
Flipped his shit over Cumin, dude.
Yeah, I saw that dude not that long ago. To be honest, it was fucking weird.
Oh yeah.
Because he has no. I don't say his name.
Yeah.
He would never know. You know, but like it was one of those things where I'm like, I wonder if he has any clue.
I was gonna say
that
did
people
he know about the bit?
I don't think so. I saw him just because I went back to, New Orleans is one of those cities that a lot of people leave, a lot of people don't. So occasionally you just see people, you'd be like, oh, that guy. And I just saw him. I don't think he realized it was me. I just saw him. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, that's definitely him. And I should have gone up and said something.
You should have, dude. You should have been like, I made a.
Yeah, by the way, there's a video.
You should
about how
check
much
out
of a
this
fucking
video.
jerk off you are. Yeah. Couldn't fucking handle. I mean, he was. Yeah, man. I'm fortunate to be in a situation where I don't need to have roommates anymore.
Yeah.
But I think back on like, good God, man, what a terrible thing. What roommates.
Just living with strangers.
Or just not even strangers. Like I've had friendships.
Really?
I could think of 2 friendships that were just not as close anymore because we were like buddies.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we should move in together. And then a year later, you're just like not hanging out as much.
Can't stand that guy anymore.
Yeah. You know, like man. I don't like the way you pop your fucking bottle cap every time you drink something, or like the way you chew pisses me off. Like little things. You're like, man, why do you always pee with the door open, but you shit with the door closed? Why not either shut the door when you piss or just leave it open when you shit? then at least it's like a novelty. Like, yep, he's in the bathroom. Paul's in the bathroom. He's gonna leave the door open. Now I know to avoid it, but I can hear your loud piss because you leave the door open when you piss.
I had a great grandmother that would shit with the door wide open and the bathroom face the door.
Shut up, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Always.
Respect.
My mom and uncles always talked about it. They would walk by and just see her, and she dipped snuff too.
Get the fuck out of here.
But she didn't spit it. She just let it drool out of her lip. So she would sit on the toilet in her nightie, facing the hallway. Just drooling snuff
dip.
Spit.
Oh, that's fucking. God damn, dude.
That's some real.
That's when you're at a point in your life where you're like, fuck it.
Yep.
I've earned it.
Yeah.
I can do this.
I'm gonna shit with the door open and drool my dip spit out.
I got no reason to care about hygiene.
Who am I impressing?
Yeah, I popped out 6 of them fuckers. 6. You think I need to wipe my ass anymore? My ass wipes itself at this point. Yeah, but yeah, man, fucking New York, dude. Yeah, there's so much stage time there. It's crazy.
I want to go.
Yeah,
I want to go, but I've barely been out of Chattanooga. I haven't even hit Atlanta yet.
Oh yeah, Atlanta's a great scene.
Nashville, Knoxville,
Atlanta's
Oklahoma City.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Nashville's got a great club, great scene.
Yeah, I like Nashville.
Atlanta does not currently have a great club, but it's got a great scene.
You don't like the Laughing Skull?
Well, okay, the Laughing Skull, but Laughing Skull is great. I take that back, but it's not a headliner club anymore.
Okay, I got you.
Which it shouldn't be. It should be a show. It's show for. There's headliners who perform there.
Yeah.
But I don't think they do headline weekends anymore.
Right.
But they shouldn't. That club's 75 people.
I thought Atlanta had a punchline.
It does.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
No offense to that place,
I get you.
but like, they just it's a good place and there's good people who work there. But like, they need to put a little more effort into it.
I got you.
You know, they need to, and it's also in Buckhead, which is like way north.
Yeah.
Like almost not even in Atlanta anymore.
Yeah.
But the Atlanta comedy scene is fucking great. Like there's great shows, and yeah, like the Laughing Skull is a great club. But it's like I said, it's a showcase club. And that's how it should be. You should go and watch.
It's like Third Coast in Nashville.
Yeah, you should go see 5 comedians on a show, and they're all doing 15 minutes and just great. But there's some great comics in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, Nick Murphy's one of my favorites.
I don't know if I know him. Yeah.
Oh, you should check out Nick Murphy.
I'll do it.
Hilarious.
Yeah, there's I love that shit. I love Atlanta. It's a dope city.
Ian Abers down there too.
Yeah, love Ian.
Ian Abers great.
Knoxville's fun.
Oh yeah, I love Knoxville.
Dude,
Have you done Knoxville?
Yeah, I did the Bijou Theater opening for David Cross.
Oh yeah,
it was
David
wild.
Cross.
And then we got fucking lit up afterwards on a rooftop bar.
David Cross is so funny. That guy's fun.
Yeah, man. It was a fun tour. I mean, he's older, so you don't expect it from him. But like, he likes to go hard, but not long.
And he's from where I'm from.
He's from Atlanta.
Yeah.
From What, Marietta or?
Marietta, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
No,
I think he's from.
One of those.
He's like Metro Atlanta.
Metro Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah. I was born in Austell. I think he's from like Roswell.
Roswell. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, dude. When he starts talking about Southern shit and it starts coming back out of him, you're like, it don't leave you. It don't never leave you, bruh. But, yeah, man. I mean, that's Nashville's a fun one, too. Tennessee has some fun. I mean, I've never been to Memphis.
I was about to ask, have you been?
No, never. I've been everywhere, Eastern Tennessee, but for some reason, Memphis is one of those major U.S. cities that I've just never been to.
I don't know. I know they have some kind of a comedy scene. I'm sure it's like at least at the level of Chattanooga and Knoxville, but I'm not real sure. There's one of the main comics here is from Memphis.
Okay.
And he goes out there a couple times and does shows and stuff. But
I mean, Chattanooga is one of those. Every time this is my third time here, and that's not true. It's probably my 7th time here, but it's my 3rd time here post-pandemic.
Yeah, okay.
That's how I've been doing everything in my memory, where I'm like pre that time, you know. But 3rd time post-pandemic, and because I came out here and did JJ's years and years ago.
Hell yeah.
JJ's Bohemian, good time, fun.
JJ's is the shit.
Yeah, it's a wild time. But this is my 3rd time here, since 2020, 21. And it's one of those cities that I'm always like, oh, yeah. You forget how cool it is.
Yeah.
You're
and we're in a perfect spot. I mean, we're an hour and a half from Atlanta, 2 hours from Nashville, and an hour and a half from Knoxville.
Oh, yeah.
So
the web.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Huntsville, too. Huntsville's like 2 hours.
Huntsville's got a fun club, too.
Yeah, they got the, what is it? Dang it. I always forget the name of it.
No, it's the Turd Burglars?
Turd Burglars, Chuckle Fuckers.
Yeah, great. That would just be. I would perform at a club if someone named it
Turd Burglars.
I was like,
hell yeah, dude.
We go to Turd Burglars.
I got to at least meet the owner. Why Turd Burglars?
It's like, good. It's a comedy club. No one should take this shit seriously. The Turd Burglars. No one should take this shit seriously.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Any young comedy club owners or want to invest, call it Turd Burglars. and then no one should take this shit seriously.
That's great. You should start your own club. That's like the thing now with comics, right? Everyone's starting their own club.
I mean, I like that idea. I would definitely I do think that's a good idea. I would love to open a club but then have nothing to do with it. Just open it and then just be a silent partner and be like, nope, don't ask me any questions. You know how you run it. Hire the right people to run it the right way. I'm like, let me just show up and do sets whenever I want. That's all. But I don't want to know about the fucking.
Don't tell me
the overhead. I don't want to know about the payroll. I don't want to know about
hemorrhaging money. I don't care.
Fuck yeah, figure it out. I just want to show up, do my set at Turd Burglars.
Turd Burglars.
I mean, it's like that would be such a fucking perfect comedy club name. Because anytime you said it, it would make people laugh. And then they'd be like, I want to go. Like, oh, what are y'all doing tonight? Oh, we're going to see this comic over at Turd Burglars. And I was like, wait, you say Turd Burglars? And they're like, yeah, man, it's a comedy club. Like, what? And then they Google it and they're like, it is a comedy club. And then they're already, and then they look at that. They're already looking at the site and they're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to buy tickets. Turd Burglars. And then you never say who the headliner is. Oh my God, this is a genius business model. Comedy club with such a funny name that people just buy tickets. And then they show up and it's like, holy fuck, it's George Lopez. You never know. You never know who's going to be there. It's like, or it's like, oh, I've never heard of this guy. And then the next week it's like, holy fucking shit, it's Maria Bamford. You don't know.
Oh, man.
No, I mean, that is weird. That is a weird thing, but I don't think it's, I don't think incest is, as rampant as people think it is. Especially growing up in the South myself, people ask that all the time. They're like, have you banged a cousin? I'm like, no, but there are cousins I definitely would have. I mean, I can be honest about that now. We're all adults, Chartreuse, I'm talking to you. You know you are. I don't have a cousin named Chartreuse. That's not her. It's not her birth name. That's her. It's her nickname. I don't think I need to explain why. You know what I mean? But let's just say, yeah, man, that was a weird Thanksgiving. What? No, I don't. I don't have a gun. Not on me. But wait, no. Actual side note. Two of the fucking last night. Two of these random people I was hanging out with after the show, both armed. I was like, hell yeah. But it was like that level of you're drinking with someone and they're like, I don't know, I got a gun in my car. You're like, can I see it? And the next thing you know, you're just in a parking lot with a Glock 19, like, huh, yeah, this is a nice handgun. And then someone else is like, oh, is that a Glock? Well, I got this Smithfield. And you're like, whoa, all right, let's fucking. I was there last night playing with guns,
Really?
Unloaded, but like just two people we were hanging out with, both just had pieces. One had in her car, her car, and which is like that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, and then this other dude was like, he had his shit on.
They're
him.
just showing you that.
He was like, I got a permit, but I'm like, yeah, but we're at a bar. Probably shouldn't have that thing on you at a bar.
Aren't you drinking?
Yeah, I think that like negates the permit. I don't even think. I think even cops are like they get in trouble.
Yeah.
If they're concealed carrying and drinking. And
Yeah,
stuff like that.
you're not supposed to.
Yeah, but
Tell them about Aaron Weber's show.
oh yeah.
Oh man.
What happened there?
Oh fuck.
Oh,
Aaron
that's
Weber,
crazy.
funny dude. I like that
Aaron
dude.
Weber's
Yeah.
great. He's so great.
Yeah.
So Andrew Ledbetter was hosting, and he was just
So
about.
wait, by the way, I met that dude last night, and I can't stop. I can't stop thinking of the Pearl Jam song "Yellow Ledbetter." Y'all know this song?
I don't know.
It's
that
a
one,
fucking amazing song, but I've never heard the word the Ledbetter. That's something I've heard like my whole life because it's one of my favorite songs. Pearl Jam, Yellow Ledbetter. Listen to it; it's great. So last night when I met him, he was like Andrew Ledbetter. I was like, after the Pearl Jam song, which I know is not the fact. I know it's not. But
After the Pearl
Yeah.
Jam
Were you
song.
named after?
We're changing our last name, damn it. That Pearl Jam song changed my life.
Listen, they're a good. I don't give a fuck. They rock. Yeah, but yeah. So Andrew Ledbetter was hosting.
Yeah. He was hosting, just about to go up, and like he's standing right there at the desk, and right before he goes up, a guy walks in with a trench coat and drops his gun
What?
just on the floor.
Fuck.
Like and welcome your host, Andrew Ledbetter. Gun falls on the floor.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then he has to go up. He's got a bit about it.
And
so I
what?
don't wanna
Are they
do
like,
that.
hey man, leave? No.
No, he sat right here at this table.
Holy
and
shit.
Ordered drinks and watched the show.
I would.
And so Zach Townsend was with Aaron Weber featuring. He's got a bit where he goes, what does he say? Do we have guns in here?
Yeah.
Does anyone have a gun in here? And then he goes, does anyone had an abortion? Well, he usually goes, does anyone own guns? But he said, does anyone have guns? And that guy was just, woo, like, doing like that.
Just love.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Armed. That's my personality.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking.
Crazy shit.
But I mean, yeah, like growing up in the. I talk about it on stage, but yeah, growing up in the South, it's like, yeah, you're around it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's why, you know, I've met people who like, you know, raised in Northern California or certain parts of the country where and they are just, the idea of a gun is just like horrifying.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get it, but you should also be able to pick one up and know what to do with it.
Right.
Or how to use it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, or just like, here, hold one. You know, it's not that crazy. It's not gonna.
It's not
if
gonna go off.
The bullets are not in there. You know, like don't give it to a kid. You know, and if you give it to a kid, again, show them how to use it. You know, like just the idea of like hiding people from. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
yeah.
it's goes back to the same thing as hiding kids from the internet.
Yeah.
It's trying to soften the internet.
And then once they finally see the world for how fucked up it is,
They're gonna be fucked.
they're gonna be terrified of it and gonna try and shoot it off.
Scared.
They're gonna show up to comedy shows with trench coats and guns because their parents didn't let them see the word fuck.
See, the thing is, there's a guy known at this club by all the staff as Trench Coat Guy.
Jeez.
And so we told Danielle about it, and
Yeah.
she goes, "Oh, Trench Coat Guy's not wearing a trench coat tonight."
Okay.
And we're like, "What? There's multiple trench coat guys?
Yeah.
Well,
There's
this one has a gun."
Yeah. There's a lot. There are a few of them. They're organized. You know, they would call themselves a trench coat mafia. It's like that didn't work out for that original trench coat mafia very well. Those guys had guns too.
Yeah.
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 They fucked up. But yeah, dude, that's insane.
Yeah, dude. You ever had someone drop a gun before you went on stage?
Not throwing on stage, but I've been in social situations where it's like, oh, that's a firearm on the ground. Hey man, is that yours? Where you have to be like, hey man, is that your 9? Is that your 9mm?
Well,
Yeah.
I'll give credit to Andrew because I just got to say it. When he tells it on stage and he goes, when you drop a gun,
Yeah.
you're no longer concealing or carrying.
Yeah.
anymore. Like,
Simultaneously.
yeah.
Yeah. Also, it's like when you drive, like that's like stories you read about, like fell out.
Yeah.
Like what?
Bang.
Bang. Yeah. Andrew's just like, well, I'm about to go on stage, and then Andrew Ledbetter, your host, everyone.
I guess I'm gonna keep going until I hear gunshots. I don't know.
Is that the yeah? I mean, yeah, dude, that's wild, man.
Yeah.
Because I'm also thinking of like this club. I'm like, if that guy who would, I haven't seen a security guard yet. You know, so who's
You
like,
won't see
it's like send Danielle, the manager, like, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Could you please take your fire? Yeah.
Nice waitress. Could you please put your gun in the car, sir?
Can I hold that for you?
Can we just hold it till the end of the show?
You can have it back.
We're gonna put it
Just
in a
from
lock
Michigan, all of a
bag and
sudden,
put it right up
you
there.
can have it back. No, I've never had anyone draw a gun on me on stage. I don't know why that.
You ever had anyone like storm the stage or anything?
No, never storm the stage, but like, well, I luckily have rest. I talk about this on stage too, but you know, I have a resting psycho face, and people tend to not want to charge me on stage. I would fuck someone up if they charge stage. I mean that wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
like I'll say that on stage, but like I would never be one of those people who's like, oh my god, please help me. Like, I have a microphone and a mic stand. I'll fucking crack your skull.
Weapons.
Yeah, it's like,
stool.
yeah, like you charge me on stage, I'm going to fucking whack you in the fucking mouth. You know.
Have you seen that classic video of the guy smashing the guitar over the dude?
Oh yeah. Well, like you've had all the like, I've never had anyone throw shit at me. Well, no, that's not true. Nothing. I had. I had someone throw a lime wedge at me once.
What?
Yeah,
What?
It just fucking whacked me right in the forehead.
Of all the things to throw.
It was a bad show. Like,
well, I hope it wasn't a good show, and they're just like,
wow, yeah, fuck yeah, I love this. I know Ariel Elias. She's the comedian who someone threw a beer at her, and then she picked it up and chugged it and finished her set, which was like, yeah, and that club sucks. It's a place called Uncle Vinny's. It's a fucking shithole. It's a terrible club.
Was that in New York?
It's in like, yeah, but it's out on, no, it's in Jersey. But someone should fucking burn that place to the ground.
And turn it into
Turd Burglars. Yeah. Put Turd Burglars in its place. And we don't let you throw beer cans at comedians. It's a BYOB club too. Which is, yeah, but
yeah.
The place fucking sucks. But like, yeah, I've had people shout shit at me. I've had people, the one thing I've never, it's funny because people always say it, but I'm like, I've never seen it or experienced it. Is people go, one time I was at a show and this guy stood up and said, I'm like, I've heard people generally don't go, hey, fuck you. Yeah. They generally just go, fuck you, from their seat.
Right.
And I've had people shout a myriad of things, but never stood up first. And it's just funny whenever I hear people go, this one guy stood up, and I'm like, he probably just said it. And like, I get it's like a formulaic thing. You're like, people can understand this better because they've heard it before. But I'm like, or just be original. That's the thing I tell every fucking young comic. That there's three things to comedy. Masochism, delusion, and originality. You need an ungodly amount of masochism, or you need to be a masochist and able to be self-delusional.
Yeah.
Because you need that to get by in this fucking business. You need to be able to lie to yourself a lot. And know that it comes from a good place. And know that the lie is actually not, you're not lying to yourself as much as you are encouraging yourself.
Right.
But that there's just going to be times where you have your bad times. You know, your fucking rough months. You have your times where you're just like, what the fuck am I doing? You know, or especially, I mean, you have that now, but it's different now. Because now it's just like, fuck, you do it for so long, it's just who you are, right?
Yeah.
You do it for so long, it's who you are, it's what you do. You figure it out. But like early on, when you're coming up, you have those times where you're just like, I just want to walk away from it all. I fucking hate it. Yeah. Everything sucks. The jokes suck. I fucking hate doing it. You're just miserable, and you have to go, no, man, but no, because you got that one bit, and it's not doing well now, but it fucking killed 2 weeks ago, and you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out, and you're lying to yourself. Yeah. Well, you're not lying. You're deluding yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're telling yourself like you can do this, when in reality you should maybe walk away. but you don't walk away. And then in reality, you're like, fuck it, I didn't walk away. Now I can never walk away. And you can, but you know what I'm saying? You just sort of like, and then the masochist part, you have to like be able to inflict pain on yourself because it's painful, especially that first decade is hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, I know comics who succeeded pretty early. You know what I mean? Like 3, 4, within 5 years. In that first 5 years, they made it somehow. They got cast in something. They got on a show. They started touring. You know, it can happen at different. Ralph Barbosa, he's a younger guy. I mean, I think I don't know how I think he's been doing it longer than that, but he's a young comic. Yeah. But he had a set on Don't Tell or whatever it was, Blow Up. And he's hilarious. He's a great comedian. Yeah. Very funny dude, very nice dude. And like it can happen like that. I also know fuckers who it took a long time and then they eventually happened, you know? Right. But it happens at different speeds. And that's the part that'll fuck you up the worst. Yeah. Is when you start comparing yourself to your peers. Don't do it. It's a pointless venture. But it's part of the masochist part. Is like, because you're gonna do it. You're gonna look at what your colleagues are up to. You're gonna see some of them succeeding. It's gonna make you insanely jealous. And all I can say is find a way to turn that into motivation. Don't become jealous and bitter. People say don't become bitter. Bitterness is part of it, man. You're gonna become bitterness is going to seep in. Yeah. You're not a human being if you aren't bitter at times. Right. When something you love doing and want more than anything else, maybe you aren't getting in the moment, but everyone around you is. It happens that way sometimes. And bitterness is going to seep in. Let it in. I say don't fight it, but let it in and immediately kick it back out. Eat it, devour it, and then shit it back out. And get the nutrients from it. The bitterness, the jealousy, take those, and instead of allowing them to just fucking set you on fire, I'm serious, think of them as food groups, right? Like, whereas gratitude, that's broccoli or Brussels sprouts. That's healthy for you. You need that. And bitterness and jealousy are like fucking jujubes and you know, deep fried Twinkies. Like, you don't need that. You shouldn't have that, but you're gonna. And there's a little bit of nutrients in there. Yeah. There's a little sugar, or there's maybe a little fucking iron. I don't know. But there's little amounts of things that you can get from that terrible, terrible stuff. Eat it, shit it out immediately, and take the good parts. And the good parts are learn from it. Take the bitterness, feel it, and then be like, all right, that is not who I want to be. You don't want to be that bitter asshole who's in the back of the room, who shits on everybody who achieves something. I fucking hate that guy. And I've had 30 of those guys in my life over the years who are just like, they're in the back of the room and someone is succeeding or killing and they're just pointing out how that's fucking hack. That sucks. They're only getting it because they're fucking so-and-so. Oh, that's only because they're sexy. Oh, that's only because they're Asian. Oh, that's only because they're a sexy Asian. Oh, that's only because they're fucking sexy Asian. You know, whatever it is. Like, you know, but there's people just being judgmental pricks because the truth is they took the bitterness, they took the jealousy, and they didn't shit it out. Yeah. It's just clogging their system now. And they're just constipated with more and more jealousy and more bitterness. And eventually they disappear. They always disappear. Right. Those fucking guys never make it through. Ever. In my experience. And it's part of it, though. You've got to be able to inflict you got to be able to take it. Yeah. And then originality, I can't stress the most. Like, don't follow in another motherfucker's footsteps. Don't try and be the next anyone. Be the first motherfucking Jet. You know what I'm saying? Be the first. Like, that's what sets you apart. I see it. I've seen, you know, especially now with social media and how popular comedy is. It's like, you know, and there's karaoke and fucking AI specials and like we were talking about earlier, cover comedians. Yeah. That shit's coming. Yeah. And I will burn it down personally. Fuck it. That's a terrible thing. The fucking motherfucker. You motherfuckers. Unless I get a cover comedian one day. You want a Sean Patton cover?
Well, they're covering me.
Well, come on, man. They're just, you know, they're showing.
Well, let me see how good he is. Does he do the bit good? Does he do the act out?
You know, I mean, the original cover comedian was Gallagher's brother.
Well, true, yeah.
Gallagher 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, there just weren't enough watermelons out there for both of them. But, wait, is Gallagher dead?
I think so, yeah.
No, R.I.P. But still smash watermelons on stage. Yeah. That was his whole thing.
That's almost all I know about him.
Exactly.
But I appreciate what you're saying though, because like especially this last month, it's good to hear someone at your level say like that you still go through the maybe I should just quit, and then you're like, no, don't fucking.
Oh, bro, it's part of it, man.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, I'm still very invested in it all. Like, and I think, like, okay, so, like, Dave Attell, who is legit a walking legend.
Yeah.
That motherfucker
Just
is.
saw him
Oh, bro.
last month.
Just still smoking.
So great.
Just still, I mean, literally still smoking cigarettes, but also still smoking on stage, but, like metaphorically.
Yeah.
But just that dude, I don't know how old Dave is, but he's very youthful. He's very, he doesn't drink anymore. He's a very, like, very energetic presence and just funny. But, like, that guy at his level, all he's achieved, I know people who have not achieved half of what Dave Attell has achieved, and they're checked out. You know what I'm saying? They'll show up, they'll do their spot,
Right.
but they just kind of like, you could tell they're not 100% in it,
Yeah.
but they still do it because they, everyone loves the attention, and then also, they get paid, so they're still doing it. And they're, but Dave's like, you'll see Dave at 1 a.m. at the Cellar on a fucking Tuesday, doing new shit, trying out working on new material, and you're like, fuck, and it's like, he's so in it still. And he still writes, and he still performs, he still cares. Like, if he has a weird set, which is rare, but when he has one, you see him just like, fuck, in his head, recalculating bits. And when he kills, which is pretty much a constant, you still see the joy in him.
Yeah.
He's still just like, whoa, and you're like, God, look at that. And like, when I'm in New York, I'm fortunate enough to be around that guy 3 or 4 nights a week. Awesome. I'm usually doing the later shows at the Cellar. He's usually on those, usually closing them out. That's nothing. He'll close them out. He'll show up, and it's a 12:30 p.m. show, and it ran a little long, or it started late, and they had or a couple people dropped in, so now it's 2:30 in the morning, and Dave's still there, and he'll go up, and I mean, the classic story is Chappelle, who is a very fucking sweet dude. If anyone's never met him personally, he's a very nice, friendly guy. Talks to you, makes eye contact. Like you don't feel like you're talking to Dave Chappelle.
Right.
You don't feel like you're talking to someone as famous as he is. He's just very, personal. But, he would go on stage, and he would sometimes do hours of, hours, and that's the end of the show. Like, in fact, this was one of my favorite things ever. It was the night before, it was Thanksgiving. Yes, it was Thanksgiving night, right, at the Cellar. So, New York doesn't close. People are often shocked to hear that, but it's called the city that never sleeps. Everything is open every night of the week. For people who don't know, Christmas, fucking it doesn't matter. Everything is open. Every comedy club is doing shows. Every bar is serving drinks.
So crazy.
It's always open. Not 24. Bars tend to close at 4 a.m. ish. But shows are happening. So it's Thanksgiving, and we're there to do a show, and Chappelle drops in, right? And they're like, he's going to go first because he's got somewhere to be. So he's probably going to do some time, but longer than 15 minutes probably. But, he's told us earlier he's got somewhere to be, so he's not going to be that long. But he's going to go first. We're like, okay, whatever. So Dave goes up, and he's doing his set, and then he says, he's like, man, y'all, I got to go in a minute. And people are like, oh. He's like, no, I got to. He's like, I'm going to this. You know what? I'm going to tell y'all. That's terrible, Dave. But he's like, I'm going to tell y'all. It's a terrible impression. Hey, man, it's me, Dave Chappelle. Make him sound like he's from fucking down 3 blocks away. Yeah. When I ain't doing comedy, I run an automotive repair shop on the outskirts of Chattanooga. So Dave's, he says, I got to go to this party at the Soho Club, which is this very hoity-toity, like, private club in Manhattan, but it's just a bar. It's just a bunch of levels of bars, but for members only kind of thing. He's like, I got to go to this party. And he starts naming a couple celebrities that'll probably be there. He's like, but I got to go. I said I go. And someone in the audience goes, can I go? Or can I come? And he goes, yeah. And everybody laughs. He goes, y'all want to come? And people are like, what? He's like, seriously, would y'all come with me? And people start being like, yeah. He's like, fuck it. I'll pay the cover for everyone. Fuck it. Everyone, let's go. He's like, seriously. And people are like, what? And he's like, wait, who's managing? And so this manager name's Val at the Cellar. He's like, Val, drop the checks. Seriously. Y'all, tip the shit out of your wait staff. tip the shit out of him. Seriously, tip him 100%. Let's all go. I'll pay the cover for everyone to get in. And he takes 140 people. It was a full crowd. He takes 140 fucking people. He leaves with them. He leaves first. He's like, this is the address. I'm going to go there now. I got my driver. I just say you were at the cellar. Just say you're at the cellar. Bring friends if you want. You're all going to get in. And people are like, all right. And the rest of us are like, wait a second. And he's like, comedians, whoever else is on the show, if y'all want to come, I got y'all too. But we're going. Fuck it. And he leaves. And the fucking audience leaves. What the fuck? Yeah. And but apparently, well, not apparently, everyone did tip the shit out of staff. And then he dropped like an extra, 100 of staff members or something on him. And then it was like, all right. And people went. I couldn't go because I was on the next show. But we were just like, that was insane. Chappelle just took the audience.
Literally.
And people posted about it. Like not everyone, but a lot of people went.
Did the opposite of walking a crowd.
Yeah,
he grabbed a crowd.
Yeah, he corralled them. He didn't walk the crowd; they walked him. Yeah. Walked with him hand in hand. And it was so funny because 2 nights later he showed up, and Val, the manager, she goes, "Hey Dave, I just need you to do me a favor and not take the audience tonight." And he goes, "What? Oh shit, yeah." He forgot. That's just a thing. That's just the kind of stuff he does.
He brought 140 strangers.
It was so fucking amazing. It was hilarious. We were me and the other comic, Phil Hanley, was the other comic. We were watching it happen, and we were just like, "Oh my god, this is hilarious!" Actually,
so crazy.
Also, and we still got paid to not do a set.
Damn.
But that Cellar takes care of you. They're good. It's good. It's a great club. But I just told that story to illustrate. So Chappelle will be on stage, and this is the classic story. Chappelle's on stage. He's about half an hour into what is clearly going to be a 2.5, 4-hour set, who knows. Yeah. And Attell shows up because he's on the lineup. And he's just in the back of the room just kind of watching. And Chappelle sees him and goes, "Oh, Dave Attell's here, everyone. Dave, did you go on yet?" And Dave's like, "Nope." And he goes, "Well, then that's my time, y'all, because I'm not going to take stage time away from Dave Attell. So thank y'all. Y'all are awesome." And he gets off stage. And it's that's how much reverence even Chappelle has for Dave Attell. Yeah. It's just like, oh, Attell's here? I'm not bumping Attell. Fuck it. And he watched. And Attell went on, and Chappelle watched.
That's awesome.
And it was just but yeah, man, Chappelle's he's a really sweet dude. But says inflammatory shit, and that's the point. Yeah. I'm also pretty hard on that point. It's I do believe, say whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. But also be willing to suffer the repercussions. Yeah. No one's gonna come for you, and if they do, you probably fucked up and said it wrong, and deal with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna get on stage and say some crazy fucking shit, it better be funny, and if it's funny, people will tend to not fucking care as much.
I had 4 people tell me about how they watched the new Chappelle special, and they're like, "I just thought it was weird that he asked for a standing ovation at the end."
I did not. I have not seen the new one. That is kind of weird.
The way I saw it, it wasn't like he was like, "Oh, y'all motherfuckers not gonna stand for me," and then came out and asked for it. Okay. I thought it seemed like a bit.
How'd he do it?
I mean, I'm trying to remember exactly. Oh, okay. So he was like, I'm gonna go off stage and get a cigarette.
Okay.
And y'all do a standing O, and we're gonna pretend like this is the end or whatever, and then I'm gonna come back out and tell a story.
Okay.
That's what he. And then they clapped when he went off stage.
Right.
And then he came back out, and he's like, "Oh, I see none of you motherfuckers are gonna stand for me," joking with him.
I mean,
and then they stood.
That's a bit. Yeah.
And then they stood up, but people were like, "He's asking for standing O's. He's getting full of himself and shit." I'm like, whatever. The same person that said that also watched the 3-hour Cat Williams interview and was just like, "Yeah, he was so good." I'm like, that was 3 hours of bragging and saying I run a sub 340. I read 3,000 books a year.
Which, by the way, no, you don't.
No, Cat, I love you. No, you don't.
Listen, if you read 3,000 books a year, that would be 7.56142991. That's how many books. 7.5426491 books a day. I don't know. I don't know, but I know when it comes to math, if you just do that, if you're like, wait, so 10,000 divided by 62? throw a decimal in.
Yeah.
It's roughly 1,200.61795.
People are like, damn, really?
Just as long as you
Like, no.
act like exactly. Just do this, like you're doing math in your head, like you're doing.
You got to convulse a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's a little bit like act like you're doing some long division. It's a little. Let's wait, hold on. Yeah. 1211.695,296. Yeah, and then just say it confidently, and yeah, they're good. That's how you do it. That's how you lie about being good at math, because usually no one's gonna check. I go, really? And you're like, no. No.
What's even better is do that for simple math.
Oh, 2 times 2. Yeah, remember, you got to do the head motion of carrying the 1.
Get a hold of
4.7.
Still at a decimal.
Still has a decimal, no matter what.
I don't know how to do real math.
Yeah, man. But yeah, turd burglars.
Turd Burglars, that's where we're going, dude.
Yep.
I hope I get to open at Turd Burglars.
Dude, you're the house MC. If I ever open Turd Burglars, like, here comes Jet again. And we're going to make a big, like a, yeah, and then you're going to parrot and you're going to.
Hell yeah. Like, sorry, just fell out of my plane.
Yeah, you're going to come from the ceiling. Going to spend thousands on that.
No one else uses it.
Just the one guy, Jet, he gets dropped, he gets airdropped into the showroom. He's the house MC Jet.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So is your brother actually a surgean?
No, he's a surgical tech.
A surgical tech.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's a bit. Oh man, I miss doing that bit. I haven't done that bit in a
That's one of my favorites.
long ass time. Thank you.
Boom, nah, boom, nah, mina.
Yeah, that was.
Those are actual words.
But he was a surgical tech, and he just was like. It was also funny because, him and my mom's an RN, and they would like at dinner be talking about just like horrendously disgusting shit that they've seen in ORs, and neither of them fazed by it. And me and my 2 sisters are just like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Hey, can we have a normal?
Yeah. Can we have a dinner without talking about entrails? Without talking about, I forget the condition, but it happens to old women where they start shitting out of their pussy. Yeah, how about that for you?
Oh,
How about that? It's a thing that happens.
I didn't know about that, and I could have gone my whole life.
Yep.
without.
Well, I couldn't go a whole dinner without knowing. All right. So how about that? Had to hear about that from my brother. My brother's just came from a surgery where it happened, and my mom was like, "Oh yeah," and she said the name of it, and my other sister was like, "What's that?" She's like, and they both laughed, like, "What?" Like it was that kind of thing. We're like, "Y'all don't want to know," and I'm like, "Don't make them say it." My mom talks like a sailor that retired to be a truck driver. Just fucking just swears up and down. She's like, "It's when you shit out of your vagina." We're like, "What?" And it's like, yeah, sometimes it happens. Older women. Yeah.
I worked security in a hospital in an emergency room, and I had a dude threaten to take off his colostomy bag and throw it at me, like sling it around and stuff.
Did he do it?
No, he was butt naked though, and he was serious about it.
What were you trying to be like, sir?
Well, yeah, he was
But
in.
I need you to give me the gun, first of all. You can't have a gun and a colostomy bag.
I got a permit.
For which one, sir? For which one?
Now he's a CON, certificate of need, so he's locked in like a rubber room basically. He's locked in a jail cell almost.
For shitting?
He's a psychotic patient.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But he's got a colostomy bag.
Okay.
And they were trying to like give him some medicine, and he was also threatening to sling poo at them too. And then he got butt naked, and so I had to go in there at 18 years old and face this like 6'5" butt naked grown man threatening to hit me with a shit bag, like spray it with me.
That's fucking awesome.
And I just yelled at him, and then I shut the door. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing anything. I'm not touching that guy. I'm not getting shit sprayed."
That's
on me."
above my pay grade.
Yeah, today I quit my job. If you make me go in there, I quit my job today.
You should have hired someone who is good at this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, someone who
You shouldn't have been like, oh, an 18-year-old kid, we could pay him $6 an hour. You'd be like, oh, let's get a professional security person who knows how to deal with shit threats.
I also had a
Who's the guy over at Turd Burglars?
get the bouncer at Turd Burglars.
Randy? Is Randy available? He could deal with it.
I had a naked guy call me the N-word one time and then threatened to hang me.
Jesus.
And he was a black guy.
How many naked psychiatric patients
Multiple. A lot.
in your life? Okay.
A lot. We also, in that hospital, had a senior center where patients from nursing homes who like got their meds off balance and started having psychotic issues
Right.
would come and get their meds readjusted.
Okay.
And we had to deal with them. So I had to wear a suit, and we had to wear clip-on ties for security reasons.
Obviously.
And one time this guy was like fighting with the nurses and stuff, and I was trying to like hold him down so they could sedate him, and he grabs my tie and pulls me down, and I could not get away from him, and I had to reach up and unclip my tie and back away.
Because it's also, suit and tie, that doesn't feed into their paranoia.
Yeah.
That they're
Look
all
like a G-man walking
Yeah, exactly.
around.
Exactly. You look like an actual their government conspiracy, and then guys walking with suits and ties. It's like, what about scrubs? No, suit and tie, clip on. It's like, why even wear the tie at that point?
Well, it was either the suit and tie or straight Paul Blart uniform.
Oh,
So-
dude, I'd go Paul Bart. nothing to tug on there, man.
I worked at the homeless healthcare center down here too, and I had to wear the Paul Blart stuff, and I had to tell grown people that have been smoking on a sidewalk for their whole life that they're not allowed to smoke on this section of the sidewalk.
Good Lord,
They
dude.
can walk 50 feet that way and smoke, but you can't smoke this.
Are you like? I can't like. We've been sitting down this whole time, and I met you the other night. Are you tall?
6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot, something like that.
I love how he's like, yeah, you know what I should do? Security. You got very just like, you've almost got this like stoner energy. You're like, you know what, man? I need to go keep order. Law and order is my calling, man. You know what I mean, dude? I'm a rider. As long as I can longboard over there to get some fucking law and ordering done, I'm good, man.
This is before my psychedelic experience.
Yeah, before with that shirt. This was pre-ayahuasca, brother. This was back in my layman era. You know what I mean? I was just doing
Before I was enlightened.
Yeah, like I've just turned you into a Matthew McConaughey character. Here's man where I'm at. That's terrible, McConaughey. I can't do any impressions. Here's my impression. Here's my impression of Andrew Dice Clay experiencing dementia. All right, here we go. Hickory dickory dock. Where am I? Wait, no, again. Wait. Little Miss Muffet. Who is that? It's got to be in there we go, right? Ow! Who did that? Who tried to burn me? Who tried to burn me just now?
Oh, who is that?
Who is that?
Dude, that's so good.
I'm going to do that on stage. It's going to bomb.
You'll just hear me cackling in the back.
I'm going to fucking do it tonight.
Oh, dude.
I'm going to fucking do it tonight.
Have you ever met Dice Clay?
Yeah, actually. I fucking had a urinal at the stand.
Was he in character at the urinal?
Well, dude, that guy he doesn't drop the character. He dropped his
Ever?
personality instead. Yeah, like I seriously think he's a guy who's been that guy for so long that's who he is now.
Damn.
Yeah, I was at the Stand Comedy Club, great comedy club in New York, and I'm fucking taking a piss, and I see this guy walk in, and he's just staring there for a minute, and I look over, it's just a dude, and he's like kind of surveying the room, and he leaves. It was Dice Clay's assistant. I didn't know that in the moment, and then he goes, "Yeah, Dice, it's good." And I'm like, "Wait, is it Dice?" And then all of a sudden, Andrew Dice Clay comes walking in. I'm like, "Oh fuck!" I was taking a piss, and he saddles up next to me. He goes, "Don't look, I'll charge you." I was just like, "All right."
That's great.
Yeah, and I fucking pissed and I leave.
Oh,
So I didn't actually even meet him.
yeah.
But he was doing a show at the
Did
Stand.
you look?
Nah,
Oh, damn.
I don't want to know. Some things you don't want to know.
Yeah.
It's like I just want to trust that it's.
I almost just wanted you to look just to see how much he charges.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like a little. It's like just a cigarette, a little dick smoking a cigarette. You know, it's just a tinier version of him.
It's got fingerless gloves too.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a fucking pomodoro and everything. It's like, what the fuck? Oh,
Oh,
oh. I mean, I hope that's how he orgasms. Oh,
I sprung a leak.
but yeah, man, that fucking guy cracks me up.
That dude's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I watched him do a set that night too. It was pretty funny. It's just like it's just interesting. Like that dude did that. She's been doing that for 30 years or whatever.
Back in the day of
characters. Longer.
Yeah, 40.
Yeah,
50.
since the 80s. Yeah, 40-ish years. Yeah,
That's wild.
Fuck, man.
I wonder have you ever met Dan Whitley? Or
Larry the Cable Guy?
Yeah.
No.
I wonder if he's always in Larry.
The only of the comedians of comedy I've met, Ron White. Yeah, he was awesome. I was doing it. There was a short-lived improv in Atlanta, right? There was an Atlanta improv for like 3 years maybe, and I did it a couple times. It was pretty good. But I show up. So my flight got like insanely delayed to the point where one of the staff met me at the airport, and we're basically like, we're going to go straight to the show.
Damn.
And by the time you get there, you're basically going to have to go right on stage.
Shit.
And I was like, it's fine. I've dealt with it before. And the guy picks me up, and he's like, we got a little bit of time. Ron White's going to drop in. I was like, fuck. Really? Because it's like Ron White. And it's also like, I got to go off after that guy.
Right.
All right, whatever. And I get there right as they're bringing him on. And he only did like 20 minutes. Didn't go crazy. And then I went on and had a good set, and I get off stage, and he's just waiting in the wings. He's watched my whole set.
Damn.
And he's like, oh, man, your dad was funny, man. He was very fucking complimentary and cool. I was like, thank you.
Awesome.
And as we're talking, we're here, the host, and the host goes, all right, folks, we got one more special drop-in. I remember we both are like, and it's like, Chris Tucker.
Oh, shit.
Chris Tucker just showed up.
Just random.
I just wanted to go on stage, and he went on. I only did like 5 minutes, and then it was like, that was interesting. But Ron White was super cool. And then I did Jeff Foxworthy's podcast.
Oh, really?
But I did it from New York, and he was in Atlanta.
Oh, remote.
So it was like remote. But he was Jeff Foxworthy was insanely cool to talk to.
That's awesome.
Because he was just he's like a comedy nerd.
Yeah.
He loves it all. So it's like I've only met those two. The other two working boys of what was that again? Redneck comedy.
Blue collar.
Blue collar. That's right.
Yeah.
Blue collar, redneck. You know, if you got a redneck, it's because you got a blue collar. You did the two go hand in hand.
White trash, blue collar.
Shit, man. I don't know if you got that on a T-shirt, but if you don't, that's fucking merch right there, buddy.
I'm pretty sure that's a T-shirt. I'm pretty sure if you go to any Walmart 30 minutes from here, you'll see that shirt.
Redneck, white trash, blue collar. If not, man, we just gave him hey, Buc-ee's. We just gave you
yeah, there you go,
$1
Buc-ee's.
million idea.
They'll sell out. You been to a Buc-ee's?
Fuck yeah.
That's the shit, dude.
That's good barbecue.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad, dude.
As far as road food is concerned?
Yeah. Compared to Wawa, 7-Eleven.
No, dude. Buc-ee's fucking takes it.
Top, for sure.
But yeah, you can get a barbecue sandwich and a dream catcher and a pocket knife and a koozie for your pistol.
And a collector's calendar for Christmas.
And a Bible.
And a Bible.
And a Bible.
And a picture with a giant beaver, dude.
And a beaver with a giant picture of a Bible. And a redneck, white trash, blue collar. There's no way. You're right. There's no way that's not a T-shirt.
Oh, it is. It definitely is.
But if it's not a T-shirt, you need to make that your T-shirt. That's $2 million right there.
I gotta pee again, dude. I'm so sorry.
What, you got diabetes?
I don't know. Maybe prostate cancer.
I hope neither. He drank a bunch of protein shakes before the recording. I've done that. Yeah, man. Buc-ee's is pretty fucking great.
I've actually never been to a Buc-ee's.
Oh man, can't recommend it enough. Because you go, and they have like not live, but like a barbecue station. But there are people back there like smoking meat and cutting it, and they do a big announcement like fresh turkey or whatever, turkey on the board, whatever. And it's really good. It's actually like, I went to a place here yesterday, right down the road, called Good Eats. You know that place?
I've never eaten there, but
Oh yeah, man, just a little dive. It's like exactly what I wanted. I was like, I want dirty brisket, and yeah, it was fucking perfect. I love that kind of shit. Mom and pop, and cousins and daughter and son too, probably. You ever been to Good Eats? Right. Just a shithole dive barbecue place, but delicious.
Really?
Perfect in every way.
Good?
Yeah, they only had Coke and Fanta. So it's like sugar or sugar.
It's real sugar.
Yeah. But, yeah, man.
Where else have you eaten while you're in town?
Nowhere else, really.
Really?
I'm eating here at the club. I should go eat some good shit
Yeah.
after this.
Yeah, you should. I always recommend the Feed or Tremont Tavern.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Those are like the two best places in my opinion.
The
If you want-
Feed
Yeah, the Feed.
or Tremont?
Yeah, Tremont if you want a burger.
Okay.
Like for sure. If you want a really good burger, Tremont Tavern.
What's the Feed? The Feed.
The Feed's owned by the same people, but it's like normal like American
Yeah.
cuisine and bar food also. They
American.
got burgers, French dip, Phillies, stuff
I
like
love that, like, American food. Burgers.
French dip,
French dip.
pizza,
Yeah, exactly. Pho. Sushi.
ramen.
Yeah. American food.
Real good American food, lo mein.
I mean, I did. I mean, I went to Cuba once, and I remember we were fucking hammered, and we were at the bar, and we were like, "Hey, where can we get a good Cuban sandwich?" And the bartender goes, "Miami." and it was like, because they don't do that in Cuba.
Yeah, yeah.
Not like a thing in Cuba.
Yeah.
It's like it was invented by Cubans in Miami.
Right.
But yeah, it was like
What did you go to Cuba for?
bachelor party.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't even know you could just go to Cuba.
You can. This was in 2015, and it was right as Obama and Raul shaking hands.
Yeah, yeah.
So we were like, let's get down there before they open a fucking Days Inn, and then we didn't know. We had no clue what was going to come after that. But we had to go through Canada. We had to go to Toronto. And
Oh, you can't go to Cuba from America?
there's no direct flights to Cuba from
That's
America.
wild.
Yeah, yeah. So
So
there probably is now.
you
But
started where?
I was in LA at the time. We all met in Toronto, in different places. We tricked the Bachelor. It was pretty fucking spot on.
That's
We
pretty.
tricked him into thinking we were going to Toronto for a bachelor party, which he was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then we got there. We're like, fuck you, asshole. Get on another flight. We're going to Cuba. So, and we get to Toronto. We all meet up, and then we got like 2 hours to kill at the Toronto airport. About that. Yeah. And then we fly to Toronto and fly to Cuba from there. But like we've been duped about Cuba because like there were a shitload of Europeans and Canadians. They've been going the whole time.
Really?
It's just Americans haven't been going. But so like you
That's
go
so
and you're like, oh. But it is also, everyone there, it's legit communism.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like whenever you meet like a 22-year-old who's like, I'm a communist. I'm like, go to Cuba.
Right.
Or China, which I've also been to. Like it's weird,
Yeah,
I get socialism, I'm cool with that. But when you're like communism, I don't know. I don't think you understand what it actually is. When you see it in practice, you're like, yeah, these people have what they need.
Right.
Like no one's starving, but also no one's doing much of anything else. They don't like. There's no options.
Well, Vladimir Lenin said the ultimate goal of socialism is communism.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just one guy. You know what I mean? Like I think there's a way to be socialist
Sure, for sure.
and not cross that line.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've also been to socialist countries, and like anywhere in the Netherlands, they're all socialist.
Yeah.
And it's fucking. You don't know. No one. There's no difference.
Right.
It's just that people have what they need. It's really it.
Yeah.
It's like the richest people. A guy who in America might be worth, I don't know, 20 million is only worth 15 million.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because he pays higher taxes.
Right.
It's like, oh, bummer.
Bummer.
But they're
Missing
fucking
out on that $5
but,
million.
Yeah, they have, but they all. Everybody's got health care and free education, and everybody makes money.
Yeah.
There's no homeless people.
I mean, I know.
Or they are, but they're not.
I've listened to Australians talk about universal basic income that they have.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I still work and stuff. It just helps me like get food and pay rent when I need it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. They're not fucking. It's like, oh, you fucked up. Well, pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
I mean, I used to be like hardline conservative,
No,
just because
sure.
of where I grew up,
Yeah,
how I
right,
grew up,
yeah.
My parents and everything. But and anytime someone brought up any kind of socialist idea, I was like, nah,
Yeah.
no, fuck that. But now I'm like, yeah, but it works. Like
Yeah.
clearly this country's figuring it out. Why can they figure it out? We can't.
Also, it's just because people want to stay in power. People want to stay rich.
You're right.
And they'd stay rich. It wouldn't change.
Yep.
But like the rich are still going to be rich.
But they're less rich.
They're less rich, exactly. They're only mostly rich. They're
Also,
only worth 8 figures.
It's not as fun to be rich if there's not super poor people to look at, you know?
Exactly.
Because then
Yeah.
you go, that's the real difference. If everyone's brought up here and I'm still here, well, that's not as fun. I like that big gap there.
That's such a psychotic mentality, but it's real.
It's real.
You know,
I mean, that's what it is.
I mean, because also like a lot of like hardcore, middle of nowhere motherfuckers who are like, they just hear socialists like, not my country. A lot of them would probably be better off under socialism.
Way better off.
You know what I mean? Like your lives would be a lot easier for you specifically.
You know how you're losing your farm because you have like 100,000 in medical bills?
Yeah.
What if that was just
What if that was taken care of?
gone?
You got to keep your yeah.
yeah.
You know how you've got that thing on that canker sore that keeps opening up and rotting, and your face smells because you can't get it looked at
Your face.
because there's not a doctor that'll do it for free. Well, guess what? What if there were doctors who did it for free? Yeah. You know how you can't read? What if you were taught to read for free? And not by just like a public school teacher who didn't give a shit, but by someone who actually had a great education of their own and
also
want to
knows
share
how to
that
read.
gift. Want to share that gift with you. Yeah, man, fucking. You know how you can't get tickets to Turd Burglars? What if you still had to get tickets, but
You got a little extra
there was
money.
public transport. Yeah, you had a little universal income. You could pay for your Turd Burglars tickets. We don't know who the comic's going to be. We don't tell you. Don't take this shit serious. You put a snuff in?
Yeah.
You fucking backwater motherfucker. I love it. Nah, like.
You want one?
No, I'd fucking barf. I tried Dippin young. I tried those. It was just,
I used to dip. Like
Yeah, you
I
did.
started when I was 12, dipping.
I don't mind dipping. I think the fucking empty bottle of spit is the most horrific fucking thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just spit on the goddamn ground.
Oh, the worst.
Or
is
somewhere.
The
If
worst.
you're inside, fucking get something classier looking.
Summertime.
Oh,
You leave like 3 or 4 in the back seat of the car, forget about them for a couple weeks.
Jesus
and then
Christ.
One of them pops,
Jeez.
and you're just like, oh, what is that smell? Then you go in the back seat, and you're like, I got to get a new car.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to burn this.
Gotta move.
I got to move.
Gotta
I got
move.
to move state.
I gotta leave. I'm no longer a resident of Tennessee. I fucked up. Guess I'm a Kentucky boy now. Gotta go further. Gotta leave the country. I'm moving to Halifax.
I'm Haitian now.
Yeah, I'm Haitian. I'm going the other way now. I'm gonna go to Halifax first,
Halifax?
then to Haiti. Port-au-Prince. I'm gonna live there. I'm a fisherman now. I speak like this because it's not racist. I live in the Caribbean. I'm a Caribbean fisherman from Tennessee.
Oh, that's something I wanted to talk about
Yeah.
because you got a clip that goes around every now and then of you talking about the Louisiana accent, the Cajun accent.
Sure.
And growing up, I always thought it sounded northern,
Yeah,
the
New Orleans
Louisiana
accent,
accent. But no one else agreed with me. Everyone's like, "What are you talking about?" It doesn't. I'm like, if you listen to them, they sound like exactly how you describe them. They sound like a New Yorker on pills.
Yeah. It's a dated firefighter.
I've never met
Brooklyn.
anyone else that like thought that.
I mean, there's a book. It's called Confederacy of Dunces. It's an amazing novel. But in there, the author talks about, like, he equates the New Orleans accent to, like, a Newark accent, Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
I think it's something to do with both being port cities,
Yeah.
but also, like, there's, like, people forget that New Orleans also has a heavy Italian influence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and a heavy, like, Irish, Italian.
I knew French. I didn't know about.
Yeah, French, Spanish. Founded by the French, built by the Spanish, Cajun, and then that's where Cajun came. And then French, Cajun's just mutts. And then a lot of people from Haiti and the Caribbean
Right.
as well.
That's where the Creole comes in.
Exactly. But like the accents, it's way more
Yeah.
Like if you get my mom on the phone, you think you're talking to a Jewish woman in Long Island,
Right.
with a potty mouth. You know what I mean? Like, it's like when I first moved to New York, people were like, "So where are you from?" And I would say Louisiana. And they're like, "What? What?"
Well, you don't talk like no
Yeah,
gator.
exactly. You didn't get your tongue bit off by no crawdad, by no crawdad crocodile.
Have you had any people go, "Are you a coon ass or are you Cajun?"
Oh yeah. Anybody who knows, everybody knows the answer to that one. There ain't the same thing. No, but it's funny too because the coon ass is something you definitely can only say in certain parts of the world.
Yeah.
Because people hear it and they go, and they get immediately offended. You're like, that's not what you think it is. You look it up in the dictionary.
Yeah.
It is Cajun people,
So
or people of Cajun descent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Do people actually? Did you ever meet anyone that like got called Cajun, but they're like, "I'm a coon ass"? Did people like defend coon asses?
I mean, most of like my mother's side of the family is pure blood fucking
Cajun.
just pure blood motherfuckers. They're from a part, and they're not even, they're from a part of Louisiana, Pankerville, Louisiana, which is like, I went there as a kid. You're talking fucking, whoo, like, I'm not accusing
Swamp
anybody or
donkeys.
anything, but like, geez, yeah, dude, like incest maybe much, but there's just a lot of fucking, like the way they talk.
Yeah.
They just all talking, and like, where y'all going today? You know, like that's sort of like that way. Oh, y'all come down here. Oh, that's city people coming in town. Here they go now. Like,
Yeah.
and they got like the one grocery store that's also the fucking dentist office, and like they all just go to each other's houses and drink into oblivion. And like, I remember I can't remember my Aunt Emily. She at the time was a little hefty, a little overweight. And we're at my uncle's house, and they had a pool, and there was this like blow up whale that you could ride on, but it would be a pool. And I just remember him. He kept coming back, going, "Emily, get out that pool, girl," because she was wearing a black bathing suit, but she was not obviously talking to the whale. It was like, "Emily, come on, girl, get out that pool." And we're just all like laughing our fucking asses off, not realizing at the time, like, oh, this is kind of fucked up, isn't it? But Emily, girl, get out that pool now. Like, I can still, whenever I think Cajun, I think of that.
Oh man.
I don't even remember that guy's name. It's like uncle I haven't seen in probably 20 years. It's like, I don't know if this is it for every family, but like my dad's side of the family is our dominant, like, extended family.
Yeah.
Like, we don't really hang out with my mom's
What's your
side
mom's
much.
maiden name? Boudreaux or something?
No,
No.
believe it or not. I don't know if I should say my
Yeah,
mother's maiden name.
I got you.
but it's very like, you would not think, it's not, it doesn't sound
Because
Cajun.
Patton,
No.
I mean, that's definitely not like a Louisiana name,
Fucking black Irish.
I mean, Mark Norman's from there. That kind of fits in with
Norman?
the French people.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
Mark also grew up like I grew like my family is all deep rooted in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Right? Like 9th Ward, Lower 9th, 7th Ward, Bayou St. John. That's like all my fucking core of my family. But then I grew up in New Orleans, first in New Orleans East, which is like a whole nother part of New Orleans, and then in Slidell, which is like the 30 minutes north,
Slidell.
the burbs, yeah. And but I was always like, so I grew up in the burbs, but my fucking identity was forged in the city.
Yeah.
Going there as a kid, going there for family stuff, spent a fuck ton of time in the city, most of my youth. And now all my family lives in the city, my siblings. But like, so, but Mark actually grew up like in the city proper. And so it's funny because his accent, you're like, where did he grow up? A fucking carnival? You know? But like, yeah. And I remember when I met Normand, I remember I saw him on stage and I was just sort of like, what is this fucking guy? What is this?
Was he doing that stuff?
Yeah, that's how he talks.
It was that.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
come on. Yeah. But you're watching it, and you're just like, I mean, I remember the first joke. I remember he's like, when something's easy, people say, oh, it's a picnic. Picnics aren't easy. You gotta get a blanket. You gotta get a basket. Who the hell's got a basket? It was way more Seinfeld. Yeah. Everyone starts off emulating something, right? You just gotta let that go eventually. But I remember seeing him being like, what's this guy doing? And then meeting him afterwards and being like, oh, you really talk like that. It's just natural.
That is wild.
Yeah. Come on. I mean,
I'm gay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's saying that. Even then.
So,
Come on.
praise Allah.
I think I did that because I officiated his wedding.
How fun was that?
It was wild. And I remember the club booker gave me this idea. It was fucking perfect. But the club booker at the stand gave me this. He's like, "You should say I now pronounce you Mr. and Mrs. Kevin Hart." I was like, "Oh, that's fucking
Did you?
genius." Yeah.
Hell yeah. Did he laugh?
Yeah. I told him I was going to do it.
You should have surprised him.
I also was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Kevin Hart." I said, "Marriage."
Marriage.
But yeah. I mean, it's pretty funny. Like Mark and I just did that cruise, the Burt cruise, and we're like, we'd meet up and we'd walk across the boat, and just the whole walk, he's just like, "Comedy, I'm gay, hey, comedy, I'd blow you, gay, comedy." He's just like
like a robot.
like you just pull a string.
Yeah.
Like he should have a fucking, that should be Mark. That should be your fucking merch.
Comedy.
Just a U doll and just like, "Comedy, I'm gay, queef."
Praise Allah. I'm Kevin Hart.
Yeah. Like, he's fucking 100%.
Yeah, dude.
Why don't you have that, asshole?
Mark, launch that.
Yeah. And sell fucking 10 of those.
Dude, I'll have it on every podcast. So.
Yeah. You'd sell a bunch of those. It's like a Woody doll, but just oh, dude.
You're doing the Patrice O'Neal benefit, right?
Yeah.
Have you done that before?
I have not.
I feel like that'd be a great show. I
That'd
wish
be
I
awesome.
could get out to that.
I got to meet Patrice. He was a very fucking cool dude.
Yeah.
Right. First time I ever met Patrice was at this club in New York called Comics, which doesn't exist anymore. Comics with an X. But it was a great club when it existed. And I show up to do a show. It was a St. Patrick's Day show, right? And Patrice was headlining because Patrice O'Neal, right?
Yeah.
I show up and I walk backstage, and he's back there with Jim Jeffries, asking Jim Jeffries how much it would cost for him to pay him to quit doing comedy. He's like, "How much, man? I'll write you a check right now." It was fucking...
Oh, my God.
And Jim Jeffries wasn't on the show, and this was like 2010. So Jim Jeffries was established by then.
Yeah.
It was fucking hilarious. But then, I did pretty well, and then Patrice went up and just fucking murdered. It was hilarious to watch. And then I'm at the bar, and I order a drink, and the bartender brings it over, and I go to pay. He goes, "No, man, he got you." And I look, and it's Patrice. And he just gives me like
awesome.
I was like, "Oh, fuck." Like, I got like a comedy boner. He was like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
Dude, he was a cool guy. But, yeah, the benefit will be fun. It's a good lineup, too. I just saw the poster. I was like, "Oh, fuck, that'll be fun."
Who all's on it? Burr, you.
Tim Dillon, Che.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one.
He's funny. Michael Shea,
Oh,
dude.
Michael rules.
I wish he
Michael
had
fucking
more,
rules.
like, specials out.
Yeah, he'll do more. I talked to him about this. He'll do more.
He's great.
Yeah,
He's
Che
so
rules.
funny. Is he still doing SNL?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think he's going to do it till... I think SNL will fucking end before he leaves.
Right.
I mean, it's like, because I liked him and Colin's dynamic, but I mean, he's also like a head writer there, and he's a higher up there at this point.
He's great.
But I love Che. Yeah, he's a fucking hilarious dude, and also just like a real human being.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like, like he produced my special on Peacock, and like,
Oh, that's awesome.
now he's the reason it's on Peacock, because like he took it. He's like, "Let me produce it." I was like, "Fuck yeah," and he was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I can't go straight to YouTube yet," because that's the thing people keep failing to notice about YouTube specials. It's like, yeah, there are the Normands and the Shane Gillises and the Joe List and the Sam who put out a YouTube special and gets 10 million views.
Right.
They also all had thousands of followers on YouTube already.
Yeah.
If you don't have at least 10,000 followers on YouTube and you put a special out, it's going to disappear.
Right.
Or unless like Shane, like Torres, he put it out on his YouTube special, but also Bert Kreischer's
Yeah.
on his YouTube page. Bert's got 1 million followers or whatever.
Right.
So unless you're not doing that, like you can't just dump it into the void.
It's like Sam Talent just posted his special on Matt and Shane's
There
Secret
you go.
Podcast
Exactly.
channel. Yeah.
And you do that, and that fucking hell. And I fucking love Sam Talent.
Sam Talent's great.
I love that guy.
He's so good.
But I was like, I don't have a big enough following. I'm not going to ask anyone to dump it on their page. I want to go to a streamer for this first one. And Shay was like, "Got you."
That's awesome.
And it was. And it was like, he in this business, you will meet a lot of people who tell you they want to help you and tell you that they're going to help you and tell you to hit them up when you need help.
Right.
And a lot of times they don't hold up that end of the bargain.
Yeah.
It's nothing personal, and it's not, you don't take it personally. It's not on them.
It's just business.
It's business. It's also like people are busy keeping their own shit afloat.
Yeah.
So I don't ask a lot of times. I'm like,
Yeah.
when I do ask, and, you know, but Che is one of the few people who's ever like, I'm going to do this for you. And not only did it, but then exceeded it, because then he also was like, let's do the Tonight Show. So you can plug it. That was Che. So it was like, he did what he said he was going to do and then more.
Yeah.
And like, that's a rare human being.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not just in comedy, in life.
In life, yeah.
And like,
I mean, I'm just now to the point where I'm able to ask bookers if they'll book me. Like before, I was like, if they want me, they'll ask me.
yeah, I mean, I can say like, that's something I wish I was better about, is don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
It never hurts. But ask for the right reason.
Right, right.
Because I've also seen people like, you know, show up and ask, hey, can I do a guest spot? And it's like, you don't know the comic.
Right.
Like I do believe in that. I'm like, if you don't know the comic, the headliner personally, or you're not like a regular at that club, it is weird to ask for a guest spot.
Yeah, for sure.
I've had to tell people no. I've told people no before.
Yeah.
I've told people yes too. I've also asked people to do guest spots. But sometimes you're like, I don't know you.
Right.
I don't know your comedy.
Yeah.
I know nothing about you.
Yeah.
And you hit me up on Instagram and be like, hey, you know, I live in this town.
That's wild.
Can I do a guest spot? And it's like, sorry, man, I prefer to know the comic, or at least someone mutual be like, hey, you should have this guy do a guest spot, or this girl, or this person, whatever.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, to just randomly ask someone that's in your town.
All
Can
the
I get a
time.
guest spot?
All the time. I've had
But
people ask me to feature that I don't
At the
know.
same time, I did something not like that, but pretty fucking stupid.
What?
Last year, I moved out to Oklahoma and got a job and
dude. What, a mental ward? A mental ward in Oklahoma?
working at a marijuana grow.
Yeah. In Oklahoma. I forgot that Oklahoma's got
medical,
legal weed.
yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, but it didn't work out. Anyways, I got down, like real down about doing comedy and stuff because I wasn't able to get out to Mike's.
Well, yeah. I mean, what? Were you in Oklahoma City?
I was 30 minutes east of Oklahoma City without a car. So, yeah.
That'll get your way.
Yeah. So I had to, who I was living with, I had to bank on them to take me, and they didn't, like, do it.
Oh,
So.
wow.
But anyways, I got down, and one night I was, like, drunk, and I'm embarrassed to even say this. I think I've said it before.
Is this where I find out you're, like, canceled?
No.
I'm just doing a podcast with you this whole time. And like, wait a second, you called who
is
the N-word? Yeah.
No, I sent a clip or a set of mine to Mark Norman on Instagram, and I was like, hey man, I'm real down about comedy and stuff. I'm like, should I just quit now or whatever I said? I was like, if you just watch this and tell me, do I have anything? Should I stay with it? It's so embarrassing.
Did he respond?
No. Thank God.
that's fucking
Thank God he
hilarious.
didn't. I hope he never sees it.
Oh, I'm gonna.
I hope
sure,
it's
I'm gonna make
buried
sure
in
he
his
sees it.
DMs. Don't, please, for the love of God,
I'm gonna
don't.
make sure.
I hope
I'm
he's.
gonna call. Let's call Mark right now. Like, Mark, go to your shit. Watch the set. Tell us live what you feel about
It's bad
it. I mean,
because it's an early on set too. I was like 6 months in too.
yeah, but you at least realize that.
Yeah,
Some people don't, because I have that same thing where people just send me sets, and I'm like, no offense here, but that's not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a fucking coach.
Right.
I'm not I'm not gonna. That's not a thing. I'm not gonna watch that. But B, we all got a lot going on. You shouldn't be forcing your shit on other people's.
Right.
You know, like you shouldn't be. We're all thinking about our own. Like, if we're friends.
Yeah.
Like if you ask me to watch a set because we're friends because I've worked with you, yeah, that's one thing. Right. You know, but like also like because I've had that multiple times. People like, hey,
I'm so embarrassed that I did it.
whatever, but you realize it. People send you shit like, hey man, I just would love your input. Why? Here's some input. Don't do this.
Yeah, don't do this.
Yeah. No, you got it. Look, this doesn't make sense to a lot of people unless you've been doing comedy for long enough. At a certain point, you shouldn't need anyone besides yourself to know if something's funny.
Right.
You know, and if you even if it doesn't work on stage, especially if it doesn't work on stage, you have to believe in it enough so that it eventually does work on stage.
Right.
You have to believe in it so much that yes, you will it, and eventually it works 100% on stage. That you don't get there by sending sets to strangers
Yeah.
and asking for their opinions. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you personally. I'm just saying
Yeah,
people send that shit. It's like, that's not how you figure out if you're good or not.
Right.
You have to be the only one who knows.
Yeah.
Or not the only one, but you have to be the biggest fan of yourself. That's hard. That's fucking hard.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you can't hate yourself. That doesn't mean you can't be self-loathing and shy and weird. But ultimately, to be good at this, you have to be the biggest fan of yourself.
Yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep going. You have to keep believing in your shit. And I know don't be a douchebag about it.
Right.
Don't be a pretentious, cocksucking, fucking big-headed egomaniac. Don't be that. Keep it all internal. But you got to do it. And, like, that always, man, because the people who end up being the best at this are always the people who are the most humble, I believe. I've seen so many arrogant pieces of shit go away over the years, right? And then there's people like Jeselnik. I brought him up earlier. You know, people say, what about that? That's one of the most humble guys you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
His persona.
It's an act.
But it's a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, but it's him. That's his personality.
Right.
He is a very but
he turns it up.
He turns up, but he's a very chill, humble, friendly, personable human being.
Yeah.
Right? And he's not a brag. He gets on stage and he's all confidence.
Right.
But he doesn't do that shit off stage. You know, Jeff Asmus is the same thing. Jeff's on stage, very confident, these jokes are amazing. But off stage, sweetheart. Friendly, fun, awesome dude. I love Asmus.
Yeah, he's
Jeselnik too. I think that guy's. I don't want to say underrated because he's selling out fucking theaters, but he's a guy who doesn't.
He doesn't get the name recognition that everyone else.
He doesn't come up in the conversation enough. I'm like, that guy's one of the greats.
Yeah, Jeselnik.
That guy's a fucking great comedian.
I mean, he has a clip where I see it every now and then where he's like, "Are you afraid of people trying to do what you do?" And like, no, do what I do because I know you can't. So do it.
Love it.
It's like, fucking, you can't do Jeselnik. Jeselnik does Jeselnik.
Shoot, believe you me, a lot of motherfuckers tried.
Oh, I know.
There was a good 5-year period where every town I went to, I'm like, oh, that's the Jeselnik?
Dead baby jokes.
Yeah, oh, that's your Jeselnik? Yeah. Oh, Canaan. I mean, there's still that.
Yeah.
That's still like a thing where you show up like, oh, this is you guys Canaan.
Right.
Just ripping off Kyle or trying to. That's another one. People think they can do Kyle. Can't do Kyle either.
Yeah.
He does come up in the conversation a lot too, but Kyle's one of the greats.
He should come up more.
Yeah, Kyle's one of the fucking greats.
Yeah.
Kyle should be selling out theaters.
Yeah.
I mean, he sells out shows.
Yeah,
he
but
sells
he
out
should sell
venues,
out
but he be selling
theaters.
like Kyle's fucking awesome. Too.
Yeah. I love that guy.
He's awesome too. He's fucking,
and
he's also a boy. He's like one of my boys.
I've only met him in passing.
Oh,
like just being
awesome dude
in the scene, but yeah, he's a great guy.
He's one of the funnest guys because he's just such a like curmudgeon.
Yeah.
But he's a lovely curmudgeon.
Right.
That's a perfect example.
You want to hear him gripe.
Yeah. Kyle, lovely curmudgeon. That's your next fucking. If that's not your next special title, you go fuck yourself.
Lovely curmudgeon.
I fucking love that dude. But he's just like, he just gripes, but he's also just like a positive, friendly guy who loves puppies and roller skates. You know what I mean? Like, and just wants to eat processed meats. And has the gout.
Does it?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's pretty funny.
I haven't heard his gout bit.
I don't know if he has a gout bit. You have a gout bit? Yeah, but Kyle's fucking great. Yeah, man. He's you get your buddies in the scenes and you make friends with people, but it's also like that sometimes comedy scenes can be overwhelming.
Oh yeah.
It's like New York sometimes it's like, what are we in fucking high school?
Right.
But then sometimes it's great. Sometimes you just
the drama, dude.
I avoid it.
If we could just do without the
100%.
drama, just drop it. We're all trying to do the same thing here.
I can't recommend that enough, dude. Like, keep your fucking head down and ignore it.
Yeah.
It's never worth it. It's always bullshit. Don't get caught up in it. I would say that to any young comic. Like, do not pay any mind to any of the shit except pay no attention to any of it except what happens on stage.
Yeah.
Just focus on that and like, don't fucking get caught up in the goddamn bullshit because it's everywhere.
And you were talking about.
By the way, it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
At whatever level you're at, there's always that bullshit.
Like a Cat Williams.
Exactly. Always fucking there, man. Just ignore it. Yeah.
Yeah. You were talking about how when you started, there wasn't like a whole lot of stuff to learn about stand-up.
No.
But now, I mean, the reason I even got the idea that I could do stand-up was from podcasts.
Oh, yeah. Podcasts.
From comics.
Yeah.
Like comics talking about how they got into comedy.
Yeah, sure.
And then just being like, oh, you just think of a funny thing and write it down, and then you try and work it out and see if it works.
Yeah.
It's funny. But we had, my generation had a lot of tools because they started releasing the old Comedy Store master classes.
Oh,
Have you ever seen those?
No. But I know of them. But I haven't seen them.
The two that I watched the most were Ari Shaffir and Ralphie May.
Okay.
Ralphie Mays was the best for, like, comedy advice. Ari mainly handled, like, the business side of stuff and how to get booked and stuff, which is great to know.
That's.
But Ralphie May, the one, I have it in my notes on the top of my folder. It says, remember to love it.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, that's the thing. No matter what.
You have to love it.
You have to love this thing. You have to remember why you got into it, remember the passion that you had for it, and keep that, or else you lose that and you become, what you were talking about, the people that just go through the motions, go up to their set, and that's
You have to love it. You have to.
How could you not? It's like, it's the most fucking fun thing in the world.
A lot of people get it into for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. Yeah. You see it, and a lot of people, unfortunately, succeed at it.
Right.
But they got into it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And they always fade away. Like, they always just become assholes that no one wants to fucking deal with.
Right.
But like I said, when you see people who still love it, like Attell, like a guy like that, you're just like, oh, man. Ron White.
A guy that quit twice.
Yeah.
Quit comedy twice.
The thing, the reason Chappelle is still Chappelle, because he still loves it, But, like, you see guys like Canadian, guys like, who are just out there, like, doing it.
Yeah.
And, that road dog in it, but they love it. I love it. It's like, it's a refreshing thing when you see, like I met Sarah Silverman, like, last year, and talking to her about comedy, and you're like, God damn, she loves it so much still. And it's just, it was like I remember talking to her and being like, this is such a, like, weirdly refreshing moment. Because it was just like, I was having, like, this, not a rough patch, but just, like, I was in my head about just, like, one thing that I couldn't get to work, and just talking to her about different shit in comedy and seeing how much she loves it, hearing her talk about it, you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the thing I'm frustrated with is a thing that is a product of a love that I have.
Yeah.
And then seriously, like, oh, because I should open with this part and close with that. I should just flip it, and it works now.
Yeah.
And you're just like, fuck you, Sarah, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. Like, she's also super fucking awesome.
Last month I was going through that. Like, I felt like I hadn't written anything new. I hadn't had any sets that were, like, out of the ordinary, just run of the mill sets. Plus, I found that I wasn't, like, hanging with anyone after the mics. I was just saying bye and leaving. And then like last week I was like, I'm just gonna have fun. If the set goes bad, just have fun, hang out with your buddies. And that reinvigorated, like, that joy. You're like, this is fun. This isn't work. Yeah. Like, this is something that I like to do.
Yeah. That's what I was having that conversation with Sarah. I was like, you probably hear this exact same conversation at young open mics. Yeah. Or at open mics among young comedians. It's like, oh, yeah, she's super fucking successful, and I've been doing it a while, and you're like, oh, yeah, we're still giddy about this shit. And you're like, you have to be giddy. You have to care. Even be giddy in your own way. Yeah. You don't have to be out there like, oh, my God. But, like, also, like, be like, all right, man, fucking look in the mirror and go, hell yeah, man. Just that moment, you and me. And also go fuck yourself for everything else. You're good at comedy. You're fucking bad at a lot of other shit.
Well, Sean, I appreciate you so much for coming on.
Thanks, brother. Yeah.
I appreciate these talks more than anyone.
Sweet.
I really appreciate it.
Where are we at?
I think we're good. Where are we at time?
Oh, fuck.
An hour and 44.
Whoa,
yeah,
bro.
That was
Put in the work.
That was nice.
Put in work, man.
I really appreciate it.
Clip that up. Clip that bad boy up. Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.